Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We can hear you and see the screen also.
Okay, thank you. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Tattvaram-yajnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanyamana Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Kayam Rupa Kadabhim Dattisthapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Taparakam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Samsajivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Sri Vishaka Anvita Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhavaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Sinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharana Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Sasya Panchakalpatarabhyacha Kripa Sindhu Bheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanute Devi Pranamami Hariti Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavani Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So someone would like to read, maybe Divya Mataji would like to read the second part of the 20th chapter of 4th Canto.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, from here. Are you able to see the text?
Yes, I can.
Okay, would you like to read?
Yes.
And before reading, we recite Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times, and then we start.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 23, right?
Yes, from 23.
My dear Lord, you are the best of the demigods who can offer benedictions. Why, therefore, Prabhuji, can you slide it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Is it better now?
Yes. My dear Lord, you are the best of the demigods who can offer benedictions. Why, therefore, should any learned person ask you for benedictions meant for living entities bewildered by the modes of nature? Such benedictions are available automatically, even in the lives of living entities suffering in hellish conditions. My dear Lord, you can certainly bestow merging into your existence, but I do not wish to have such benediction. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benedictions of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarine beverage of your lotus feet. I want a benediction of at least 1,000,000 years, for thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Such glorification of your lotus feet is like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. My dear, highly glorified Lord, if one, in the association of pure devotees, hears even once the glories of your activities, he does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, give up the association of devotees, for no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. Now, I wish to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to serve just like the goddess of fortunes, who carries a lotus flower in her hand. Because His Lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. I am afraid that the goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would be attentively engaged in the same service. My dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune Lakshmi is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my part, for you are very much inclined to the poor, and you always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think that there is no harm for you because you are so self sufficient that you can do without her. Great saintly persons who are always liberated take to your devotional service because only by devotional service can one be relieved from the illusions of material existence. O my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls to take shelter at your lotus feet except that such souls are constantly thinking of your feet. My dear Lord, what you have said to your unalloyed devotee is certainly very much bewildering. The allurements you offer in the Vedas are certainly not suitable for pure devotees. People in general, bound by the sweet words of the Vedas, engage themselves again and again in fruitive activities, enamored by the results of their actions. My lord, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you, but as a father, not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son, please bestow upon me whatever you think is best for me. The great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prithu Maharaja's prayer, addressed the king. My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose, as you yourself very intelligently express, can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. My dear king, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders, and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. The great saint Maitreya told Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, amply appreciated the meaningful prayers of Maharaja Prithu. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, the Lord blessed him and decided to depart. King Prithu worshipped the demigods, the great sages, the inhabitants of Pitraloka, the inhabitants of Gandharvaloka, and those of Siddhaloka, Charanloka, Pannagaloka, Kinnaraloka, Apsaraloka, the earthly planets, and the planets of the birds. He also worshipped many other living entities who presented themselves in the sacrificial arena. With folded hands, he worshipped all these, as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the personal associates of the Lord, by offering sweet words and as much wealth as possible. After this function, they all went back to their respective abodes, following in the footsteps of Lord Vishnu. The infallible supreme personality of Godhead, having captivated the minds of the king and the priests who were present, returned to his abode in the spiritual sky. King Prithu then offered his respective obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. Although not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Maharaja Prithu. After offering obeisances to the Lord, the king returned to his home.
Thank you very much, Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
How did you find reading this part of the chapter?
Thank you for the opportunity. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was also very nice hearing. Thank you once again. We would like to go to the purports of this chapter, which are very, very nice. The Prabhupada has elaborately explained the dialogue between Prithu Maharaj and Lord Vishnu. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naranchava Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadujayam Tirayet Nashtaprayesa Bhadrayas Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Samastoke Bhaktir Bhavatina Stati Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Chananda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. So we are discussing the subject matter of the dealings of King Prithu, who is none other than the uh, plenary expansion of the Lord, and he sees that his citizens are suffering because of famine and drought, and to solve this, he decides to do Ashtamera Yajna as per the advice of Mother Earth. When this is happening, last time we discussed how King Indra, out of envy, he wanted to stop it because this was the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna, and Tatakritu, who is Indra, is scared because if Ritu Maharaj happens to be performing the 100, then he comes to his position. Yeah, he is also scared that maybe King Prithu will become Indra. So this level of insecurity, this level of not having something that he has, so these things caused great disturbance. And then Indra took the form of sannyas, and he took away the sacrificial horse so that the sacrifice can be stopped. After repeated attempts to stop this, still Indra uh, mm, yeah, was finding different kinds of garbs that he could put, and then he could take over the horse and then um, become successful in his plan. And this made King Prithu very angry. And when he became very angry, then he took his bow and arrow and he was about to shoot even Indra, because his priests were suggesting this is causing disturbance, and then uh, King Indra should be at once killed. And so here, there we come across when this was to happen, then Lord Brahma comes. Lord Brahma comes and says, "No, don't kill him." Why? Because he is the king of heaven, and then he is supposed to be, yeah, excused for what he has done, because by your attempt of killing, yeah, first of all, you're killing a devotee. Yeah, after all, Indra is a devotee of the Lord, and mm, avoid spreading irreligion by that. Yeah, so that tomorrow, um, this attempt of what Prithu Maharaj has done might expand, people may think, yeah, this is what Prithu Maharaj has done. So Brahma is pacifying. Brahma is actually pacifying Prithu Maharaj. And then uh, he says you should not kill him because he's part of the Lord, Bhagavat Tanu. And this is the yajna meant to satisfy the demigods, and Indra is one of the demigods. So in that way, uh, Indra's attempt mm, disrupted dharma. If we uh, mm, do this, yeah, it is causing what? That Indra will again come and disturb. Rather, Lord Brahma said, give up, give up doing the 100th sacrifice. And then Indra thinks that he is not at risk, and he also will give up to stop the sacrifice. Here, there is very important message that I think last time when we were discussing, that didn't, I think I didn't mention. Usually, we want to do service, yeah, and for that matter, we are eager to do whatever it means. And sometimes what happens is we start stepping on the toes of someone else, and then because we wanted to do service, that is nice, but we are not adequately trained how to do the service. So what we may do is we create disturbances, and then we think that, oh, after all, my only hope is service, and in the spirit of serving, what we may do is we commit so many mistakes, and sometimes I think uh, it is better not to do service. Here, Prithu Maharaj is asked not to do the 100 sacrifice so that things can settle well, and the inconvenience that Indra might create in future or will create or is already creating, that will be pacified or actually uh, addressed. So the question may come, should we render service or not render service? Hmm. The question here we see from Prithu Maharaj is that he is guided by Lord Brahma. The Lord appeared and he told that, yeah, by doing this, this religion will dominate. So anyway, you know what is the path of liberation, and yeah, why? Because a devotee very well knows that things that are related, that are connected to the modes of material nature, causes one uh, to be bound, and one that is to practice Krishna consciousness liberates one. So Prithu Maharaj is already a devotee. Hmm. So here in that case, Brahma is saying, so what is the gain by performing this sacrifice if you know the path of liberation? Yeah. So give up your anger and accept whatever the Lord is will is. Do not worry about the incomplete sacrifice. But sometimes it's not so easy as what Prithu Maharaj has done. Here, he just to avoid irreligion, to avoid spreading of irreligion. Why? Because of um, the of Indra, who was very stubborn. So when we come across people who are very envious and who are very very stubborn, they are destined to destroy uh, mm, the the good and peace of everyone. So we should be very careful. So um, the better approach here is it about not fighting? Is it about peace? Uh, because Krishna has said to Arjuna that fight, and here Brahma is saying Prithu Maharaj not to fight, not to kill Indra. So is one applies to everything? No. Here we understand that it is important to have a spiritual master. It is very important to have a guru who can guide us what we should do and what we should not do. And for that matter, sometimes it is active working and sometimes it is active uh, inaction. Uh, but ultimately, because these are the directions of the Lord, so whatever um, these are the directions of the Lord through the spiritual master, and that's how it's functioning, so that we can elevate our consciousness and take up the path of liberation. So, in this case, uh, Lord Brahma said, the purpose of your incarnation is what? You have appeared from Vena's body as an incarnation of Lord to protect religion. And by doing this, you are actually causing or spreading religion. So give up. And then Prithu Maharaj becomes peaceful and he makes peace also. And then because of this, the demigods are pleased. So sometimes we might be carried away by the benefits of what we are going to get on an immediate basis. And this is what is called working in the platform of mode of passion or sometimes mode of ignorance. In the mode of passion, we see that what is immediately I'm going to get. I'm going to get recognition. I'm going to get power. So this is what we might be interested. Or we might even think, no, after all, I'm doing all this for the Lord. But a real motivation, only we and the Lord know. No one else might know because it's very deep inside our heart. But the spiritual master who we open up ourselves, who can understand what our intentions, who can know what is the right course of action. So a spiritual master can guide us in the proper way. So it is always important one to have a spiritual master, a saint. Uh, in this case, Lord Brahma suggested that for a better cause, for a higher purpose, uh, give up your fighting spirit against Indra. And then after that, what happened? The demigods were pleased. Everyone bestowed their blessings. Uh, uh, then a lot of benedictions. Who were very pleased by his glorious activities. Uh, who can give up? Who can give up this? And he's a Kshatriya. And uh, uh, a duty of Kshatriya is to establish Dharma. To establish Dharma, if one has to take a peace formula, that is fine. If one has to fight, yeah, but ultimately one has to establish Dharma. That's what we see. And then, not only that, the Brahmanas who were there also blessed him. So when this happened, then what happened also is very, very nice thing. When we are, am I audible? Sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then, because of this, Lord Vishnu appeared. See, when we follow the instructions and please the spiritual master, we can also see that how the Lord is pleased. And Lord Vishnu personally he appeared. And then he said, please forgive Indra. Hmm? Brahma came and said, stop the yajna. And now Lord Vishnu comes and says, please forgive Indra. And then the knowledge of soul and super soul makes one unaffected by the modes. So the one whom you are thinking as Indra for the actions that he has done, yeah, uh, a super soul, yeah, who is present inside, is directing how one should act. So Lord Vishnu is saying, he serves me by his occupational duties and attains peace and perfect vision. He's telling about Indra. So he said, um, I, please forgive Indra. That is first thing. And I'm very much pleased. So Lord Vishnu is also saying that by the way that you have dealt the situation, I'm very much pleased. And ask any benediction. Hmm? And then Prithu Maharaj accepts the instruction and what is that? He forgives Indra. He forgives King of Heaven in spite of he trying to disturb. He in fact has uh, um stopped Prithu Maharaj from performing the 100 sacrifice. But Indra realized, yeah, not that no, now the 100th yajna will not be performed, so that's why I'm safe. Not because of that, but because yeah, Indra came along with Lord Vishnu and Then Indra understood his mistake, and then because Prithu Maharaj has forgiven him, so Indra is asking for forgiveness, and then Prithu Maharaj has uh, mm, forgiven, and then Lord's mercy towards Prithu and Prithu's worship of the Lord is, uh, he says, hey, you have done a great thing, which is not so common these days. Uh, One is ready to even kill others to keep up his own ambition alive. Hmm. So Prithu accepted instructions of the Lord on his head. Indra was ashamed, and then he paid. He fell at the feet of Prithu and gave up all hatred. And Prithu Maharaj also gave up all hatred and embraced uh, Indra. So this is what happened, and Lord's feet touch. There is also very nice explanation that says, I mean, the purport. Prabhupada describes that when the Lord landed in front of Prithu Maharaj, yeah, he was not touching, his feet were not touching the floor, not touching the ground. And not only the Lord, in the purport it's mentioned the heavenly beings, they do not touch the floor. And for that matter, we know that even Yudhishthira Maharaj, his chariot never touched the floor and his feet never touched the floor because they are weightless. And the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental, obviously is also weightless, because what causes heaviness is of the earth element, and then the Lord is not made of any of these five elements or gross elements: earth, fire, water, ether, earth, fire, water, ether. What is the fifth one? Earth, fire, carbon, air.
Sky, Prabhuji.
Ether is sky, air. Yeah. So so the Lord is not made of these, so obviously he's weightless. Yeah. But out of great affection and in compassion towards Prithu Maharaj, he indeed has touched the ground, and which is not so common. So the Lord was supporting himself by putting a hand on the Garuda. So this is what is mentioned. Huh? So, as if to prevent himself from stumbling, since he is not accustomed to stand on the earthly ground. And from there, what Divya Mataji has read, we'll go through that. Hmm. So here, the prayers of Prithu Maharaj is very, very important to understand at an intellectual point of view and also at a devotional point of view. He is saying, "Oh, best of all the benefactors, how can a learned person ask for benedictions meant for those bewildered by material modes?" This is first thing. And then they're available even for people in hellish condition. So the benedictions that are related to material body or conditional life, even those are available even in hell. Hmm. These are available even for people in hellish condition. Yeah, Narakanam api santi dehinam. And then Tan Isha Kaivalya Pate Prine Nacha. Although you are the Lord of liberation, I do not ask for such benedictions. In this, the Lord is addressed as Kaivalya Pate. Kaivalya is liberation, and who is the master of that? Who can grant Kaivalya? Here, if we see that, Lord Vishnu. And Prithu Maharaj is saying, you are the one who can give liberation. Hmm. But I don't want. I do not ask for such benedictions. Huh? He does not desire Kaivalya. And then comes, what about, what does he want then? I never want such benedictions such as liberation. He also describes why he doesn't want it. He says, I never want such benedictions in which there is no nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. So this is very important. We have thought liberation is such a cool thing. By liberation, one can get free from all the suffering. And by liberation, we are going to attain what ultimately is the goal of our life, is to be freedom from the cycle of birth and death. But here, uh, what Prithu Maharaj is saying, I don't want that. I rather want something, that is really the beverage or nectar of your lotus feet. And then he's also saying, please give me at least 1,000,000 years to hear your glories coming from the hearts of your pure devotees through their mouths. Who will ask this? We are tired of hearing for a Bhagavad Katha for 1 hour. 2 hours is already we are counting. Oh, I have that thing, I have this thing, I have to do that. So many things. But what Prithu Maharaj is asking, therefore, I do not wish to have the benediction of merging into the existence, which is Kaivalya. I don't want it. Why? In Kaivalya, there is nothing. In Kaivalya, there is only what is the Shantaras. In Shantaras, what is there? There is no much opportunity to render service. It is freedom from suffering. That is nice. But what to do after getting freedom from suffering? It is ultimately to engage in hearing your glories with not 1 year, with not 2 years, with million, at least, he says, at least 1,000,000 years. I want the benediction of at least 1,000,000 years. It's very interesting to see. I mean, of course, in the purport Prabhupada is not giving, but we see that um, Indra has uh, eyes all over his body. Yeah, of course, this was a curse, but anyway, he has so many eyes. Uh, Having so many eyes, yeah, usually we think, if I, oh, how nice if I can see so many things at same time. How nice if I can see my left, if I can see my back, if I can see up, everything. So nice. Uh, but what is the purpose of seeing so many things? We have been seeing so many things with our eyes, and so many mundane things that we see will maybe for a moment give some happiness, but it's not giving us uh, that bliss through which we can advance, which we want to anchor for more. So that can be possible only by hearing. When we hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Vibhati Rasamalayam, when we drink the nectar, then uh, so many uh, Rasika ho, Bhavi, uh, Bhuvi Bhavaka. So there are so many who are eagerly waiting, eagerly trying, eagerly looking opportunity to hear Bhagavatam. So here, Vishnu Maharaj is saying, one might think that these glories of Lord can be heard from anywhere, from the mouth of either devotees or non-devotees, but here it is specifically mentioned that the glories of the Lord must emanate from the mouths of pure devotees. What is he asking? महत्ता महत्तमांतर हृदयान मुख अच्युत विदस्व कर्णायुक्तम एष मे वरः. So please give me at least 1,000,000 of years to hear your glories from the hearts of your pure devotees through their mouths. So this process of Shravanam and Kirtanam is very, very nice. There should be someone who is speaking and there should be someone who is hearing, and both should be above the modes of material nature, the influence of modes of material nature. So here Prithu Maharaj is uh, asking the Lord the benediction that may he have the opportunity hearing the glories of the Lord uh, with 1,000,000 years, which is recited by uh, mouths of pure devotees. So here in the purport Prabhupada is saying that the previous verse, Lord is called Kaivalyapati, and he says, I am not, I don't want Kaivalya. In this, he is clearly mentioning. So, Sanatan Goswami uh, has strictly prohibited hearing from the mouth of a non-devotee. So we should be very, very careful. Okay, Bhagavatam hearing is so nice. Let me hear from whoever. I don't care. I am very much a devotee. I want to become a devotee. Let me turn on Asta TV. Let me turn on Bhakti TV. Let me turn on so many TVs which are fully having programs based on devotional subject matter. Hmm? But we have to understand that not everyone has the potency to transform our heart. It can maybe give a good effect to our mind. Huh? After all, logically it fits, but who can really transform our heart? He is the one who is actually a devotee. Srila Sanatan Goswami has strictly prohibited hearing from the mouth of a non-devotee. There are many professional reciters of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam who speak the narration very ornamentally, but a pure devotee does not like to hear from them because such glorification of the Lord is simply a vibration of material sound. But when heard from the mouth of a pure devotee, the glorification of Lord is immediately effective. So, what is the proof? How are we understanding that we are hearing from a devotee? Is that our mood of devotion should multiply. Our appreciation for Krishna consciousness should manifest in our heart that we want to keep it. Mm. Even in Bhagavatam third canto, there is this Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Samvida, mean that glorification of Lord is potent when uttered from the mouth of a pure devotee. Huh? So Prithu Maharaj therefore wanted tongues to chant and hear the glorification of the Lord. In other words, if our ears are always engaged in hearing the glorification of the Lord, there will be no scope for hearing the Mayavad philosophy, which is doomed to spiritual progress. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if anyone hears from a Mayavadi philosopher preaching about the activities of the Lord, even if it is a description from Vedic literature, he is ultimately doomed. By hearing such Mayavad philosophy, one cannot come to the destination of spiritual perfection of life. So, so this is what Prithu Maharaj is asking Lord Vishnu. And he is also saying that, what is he saying? Sa uttama shloke mahan mukha achyuto bhavat padam boja sudha kana nilaha mritim punar vishnumrita tattva vartamanam kuyoginam no vitarati alam vara. So this is my dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Uh, Again, Uttama Lord is addressed as Uttama Shloka. Why? Because one is very careful addressing the Lord. He is not just an ordinary person, uh, but he is the Supreme Lord, so he is glorified by great personalities with selective words. Such glorification of Lord is like saffron particles. And when the transcendental vibration from the mouth of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of the lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. So, uh, therefore, I do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of pure devotee. So, repeatedly, he is asking the same thing. What he wants is want to hear from devotees the glories of the Lord. Uh, and in the purport, uh, every one of us is a kuyogi because we have engaged in the service of this material world, forgetting our eternal relationship with the Lord. It is our duty to rise from kuyoga platform to suyogi, perfect mystics. The process of hearing from pure devotee is recommended in all Vedic scriptures especially by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One may stay in his position of life. It does not matter what it is. But if one hears from the mouth of a pure devotee, he gradually comes to understand of his relationship with the Lord and thus engages in loving service, and his life becomes completely perfect. We know that we are not perfect. Of course, accepting it itself is already a step mm, closer to attaining the goal. There are so many who don't even understand that we are not perfect. And how to attain perfection, here it's mentioned, uh, is by hearing. If if one hears from the mouth of a devotee, he gradually comes to understanding of his relationship with the Lord. This is what Bhagavad Katha is doing. The purpose of Bhagavad Katha, the purpose of hearing from the pure devotee is to reconnect bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga means to the process of bhakti, one reconnects his to his Lord. Therefore, this process of hearing from mouth of a pure devotee is very important for making progress in the line of spiritual understanding. And after this, now it's very, uh, I would say, Prithvi Maharaj is saying, my dear highly glorified Lord, if one in the association of pure devotees hear even once the glories of your activities, what will happen? Huh? What will happen? He will attain perfection. Huh? There are only chances of people not attaining perfection. Who are they? He does not, unless he is nothing but an animal, uh, give up the association of devotees. For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. This is very, very important. So Maharaj is saying only a fool will give up devotee association. Devotee association is so powerful, uh, and also is the means through which one can attain perfection. And who on the planet Earth, other than an animal, will not appreciate this? Only animals do not understand it because they are less intelligent. But humans should understand that it is very, very rare opportunity. It is a rare opportunity that one can get in once in many yugas. What is that? Association of a devotee. When one gets association of a devotee, if he is ignoring, if he is neglecting, Prithu Maharaj is saying what kind of animal he is. Huh? For no intelligent person would be so careless as to leave their association. The perfection of chanting and hearing about your glories was accepted even by the goddess of fortune, who desired to hear of your unlimited activities and transcendental glories. So even Lakshmi Devi desires to hear your unlimited glories. And now, after saying so, now Prithu Maharaj is saying what he wants. Now I wish to engage in the service of the Lord, of your lotus feet, and to serve just like goddess of fortune, who carries a lotus flower in her hand, uh, because his lordship, uh, the supreme personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all transcendental quality. I am afraid that goddess of fortune and I would quarrel because both of us would like to attentively engage in the same service. So here it's getting little when Pritham Maharaj is saying, he's saying, okay, I would like to also render service just like how Lakshmi Devi is doing. Sometimes we also, our natural interest, our own talent, sometimes what we say, I would like to also do the same service like someone else is doing. Yeah, but someone else is already doing. Oh, there are two approaches. One is wait for the chance when you get this opportunity. Other one is you create a chance. You create the chance and then how do you create the chance? By again two ways. One is by qualifying yourself uh, with your skills, expertise, character, behavior, and understanding the best what you can offer. This is one thing. Second one thing is, oh, that's too difficult for me to develop so many qualities in so short time. Let me um, do this. What is Kuyogi? hmm, The attitude of pulling others down. Huh? No, he is not by finding faults, by showing faults, uh, by defaming the person, and through that by engaging in, by getting that opportunity. So there are these two ways. Mm. Here, Akhila, what is Prithu Maharaj is saying that Atavaje Swakhila Purushottamam Aunalayam Padma Kareva Lalasa Api Avayor Ekapati Prihad Kalir Na Syat Ita Svai Charanaika Tanayo. This is, he's saying, I would like to also offer the service. But here, is there any competition here? So if we understand very carefully, uh, uh, Prithu Maharaj is saying, might be that with my desire of offering, yeah, after all, uh, it's a nice service. It's a nice service to offer to the Lord, and you also have genuine interest to offer to the Lord. And then here, Prithu Maharaj is taking a humble position where he is saying that, O Supreme Person, uh, I desire to serve your lotus feet like Lakshmi, but I'm afraid we would compete and quarrel over the service to a single master, Ekapati. So, Ekatanayo, and but he is further telling in the next, yeah, but I am not afraid. Yeah. Sometimes when devotees, yeah, are going to come and do the same service, there is always a tension. Oh, will this, mm, will I be able to do it? What will happen if I don't do it? What will happen if I do it? All these things. Uh, but here, Prithu Maharaj is leaving in the hands of the Lord. Lord, you will tackle it. Uh, but sometimes we can't take this approach because our consciousness is different, and what Prithu Maharaj's consciousness is different. Here he's saying, of course, the first point to clarify here is that there will never be a competition between Prithu Maharaj and Lakshmi. The Lord knows why, because Lakshmi Devi is rendering service in Madhurya Ras, and Prithu Maharaj, though it is same action, it will be done in the form of Dasya Ras. Hmm. So there is, of course, no question of he's competing with her on the platform of Madhurya Ras. That is clear. And then uh, Prithu Maharaj is saying, even if such a situation comes, please, I know you will support me. Hmm. What is he saying? Yeah, Jagat Jananyam, in the mother of the universe, Jagatisha, oh Lord of the universe. Uh, so if such a situation comes, yeah, uh, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there is some misunderstanding, you will take my part. Why? Why? Because you are very inclined, Dina Vatsalah, favorably inclined to the poor, and I am poor. Goddess of fortune, she is already fortune, she is opulence, she is the mother of opulences, she already has everything. But I am a Dina, and you are a Dina Vatsala. So I understand that if such a situation comes that because of my intrusion, if goddess of fortune might yeah get angry, uh, I'm I am hopeful that even such situation comes, mm, you will take my part. Why? Because you are Dinavatsala, and you always magnify even insignificant service onto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think there is no harm for you. Uh, sometimes, sometimes what happens is, oh, if Lord will favor his devotees, will Lakshmi Devi become angry? And because if Lakshmi Devi becomes angry, Lord Hari will not get food? No. Uh, if Lord is not, uh, yeah, when he is partial to his devotees, will Mother Lakshmi become angry and upset, upset, and then what happens to the Lord? And then will Lord not approve or grant mm, his benedictions upon the devotees? No. Lord is Bhakta Vatsala, Lord is Dina Vatsala, Akhila Purushottama. So all this glorification that Krishna Maharaj is using uh, are apt here, and he's saying that uh, even if he becomes angry, uh, I think there is no harm. Even for you, even for you, there is no harm. Why? You are self-sufficient, that you can do without her. So Prithu Maharaj is saying few things. He's saying that first of all, Lord, you are Bhakta Vatsal. Yeah, you are, what was the word here? Dina Vatsala. And also, uh, yeah, you, you are not depending on anyone. Yeah, you are all fully independent. Purushottam. Yeah, Purna Purushottam. You are fully independent. So in this case, uh, uh, why should Mother Lakshmi, the Mother of the Universe, be angry with an insignificant devotee like Prithu Maharaj? Okay, even if she is angry. Hmm? All this was very likely, not very likely. Yet Prithu Maharaj, just for his personal protection, appealed to the Lord to take his part by saying that he is only poor. Hmm? Prithu Maharaj was engaged in performing the ordinary Vedic rituals and sacrifices according to Karma Kanda. But the Lord, being so kind and magnanimous, was ready to award Prithu Maharaj the highest perfectional stage of life, namely devotional service. So Prithu Maharaj is saying because of his insignificant service to the Lord would be accepted by him as being greater than that of Lakshmi ji. Yeah. So though a qualified expert devotee can render a great service to the Lord, from here we see the Lord has a soft corner to one who is trying to become perfect. There is a perfect devotee and there is an imperfect devotee. Lord will favor an imperfect devotee, accept him, and this is what he's saying. Lakshmi ji is anyway perfect devotee. He's always rendering nice service, but uh, Lord will give his special uh, blessing upon him. The goddess of fortune is called Chanchala, restless, because she is very restless and is always coming and going. So Prithu Maharaj indicated that even though she might go away out of anger, there would be no harm for Lord Vishnu because he is self-sufficient and can do anything and everything without the help of Lakshmi. And what is the proof? Prabhupada gives in the purport example of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Lord Brahma himself, he comes from the navel of Lord Vishnu. And where is Lakshmi Devi here? No. So if the Lord wants to create Brahma, there is no need of Lakshmi Devi. Uh, so generally the son is to be begotten, the husband impregnates the wife, and in due course of time the son is born. But in the case of Lord Brahma's birth, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu did not impregnate Lakshmi Ji. Being self-sufficient, the Lord begot Brahma from his own navel. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj was confident that even if the goddess of fortune became angry with him, there would be no harm, neither to the Lord nor to himself. And then he further says, you know, great saintly persons who are always liberated takes to your devotional service because only by devotional service can one be relieved from the illusions of this material um, existence. Oh my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated soul to take shelter at your lotus feet except that such souls are constantly thinking of your feet. So here there is a the purport Prabhupada is mentioning that the karmis are generally engaged in fruitful activities for material body comforts. Jnanis, however, are disgusted with searching for material comfort. What they do? Huh? They understand that they have nothing to do with this material world, being spirit souls. After self-realization, Jnanis are actually mature in their knowledge, must surrender unto the Lord. This is what one should do. Self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. Therefore, it is stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that those who are Atmaram, are freed from all contamination of material modes of nature. As long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially by rajas and tamas, he will be very greedy and lusty, and will therefore engage in hard tasks, laboring all day and night. Such fool egoism carries one from one species of life to another. The Gyanis understand that no, this is what not correct thing. Therefore, what do? They take karma sannyas. Yeah, they don't take complete sannyas. A complete sannyas means to leave everything material and to catch hold of spiritual, the Lord. But then some people who want relief from the material bondage, they will give up. That is from work. They are called karma sannyasa. Yet this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the middle wisdom of Jnani leads him to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That is very, very important. And that is, in other words, the transcendental bliss derived from self-realization, known as Atmananda, is very insignificant in the presence of the bliss derived from the devotional service to the Lord. Prithu Maharaj therefore concluded that he would simply hear of the glories of the Lord constantly and thus engage his mind upon the Supreme Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. And then he says, people in general bound by sweet words of Vedas engage themselves again and again in fruitful activities, enamored by the result of their actions. So, my Lord, what you have said to your unalloyed devotee is certainly very much bewildering. The allurements you offer in Vedas are certainly not suitable for pure devotees. It is very, very important for us to understand, is Vedas everything? What is the purpose of Vedas? Vedas are means how one can act best at max in the mode of goodness. Or it will tell what are the effects of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and mode of goodness. Uh, but above that is the Vedanta, the gist. What is that? Is only uh, uh, explained in the Puranas. Yeah? Puranas are, I think it comes in this purport or someone or somewhere. Puranas are the supplementaries of the Vedas because we do not understand the Vedas, the intricate things. This is what Pritham Maharaj is saying. They are so confusing. And um, what you said to your unalloyed devotee is certainly very much bewildering. The allurements you offer in the Vedas are certainly not suitable for pure devotees. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, a great Acharya of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, has said that persons who are very much attached to the fruitful activities of Vedas, named Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, are certainly doomed. In the Vedas, there are three categories of activities. Karma Kanda, which is fruitful activities, how to lead a most best, comfortest life in this world by uh, committing pious things, by uh, doing atonement of bad things. Uh, this is bonding us in this material world. Then the second path category is Jnana Kanda, philosophical research. And third is Upasana Kanda. What is Upasana Kanda? Worship of different demigods for receiving material benefits. And uh, those who are engaged in Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda are doomed in the sense that everyone is doomed who is entrapped by this material body, whether it is a body of demigod, a king, a lower animal, or whatever. The suffering of the threefold miseries is anyway there. Uh, Cultivation of knowledge to understand one's spiritual position is also a waste of time. I repeat this again. Cultivation of knowledge to understand one's spiritual position is also a waste of time because the living entity is an eternal part and parcel of the Lord. His immediate business is to engage himself in devotional service. Sometimes we think that, okay, let me read a lot after I get some taste, after I get really convinced, after I have the conviction, after I have faith, after so many after things, let me then practice bhakti. No, here it is clearly mentioned one should engage in the process of devotional service immediately, not wait until I understand, not challenge the Shastras. Prithu Maharaj therefore says that the allurement of material benediction is another trap to entangle one in this material world. He therefore frankly tells the Lord that Lord's offering of benediction in the form of material facilities are certainly cause for bewilderment. A pure devotee is not at all interested in bhakti or mukti. He's not interested in enjoying material comfort, bhukti, or freedom from material suffering. No, he's not interested in both. Lord Chaitanya therefore says that a sincere devotee who is not very intelligent may ask some material benefit from the Lord, but the Lord, being omniscient, does not generally give material rewards, but on the contrary, take away whatever material facilities are being enjoyed by his devotee, so that ultimately the devotee will completely surrender unto him. In other words, the offering of benedictions in the form of material profit is never auspicious for the devotee. This is very, very important. We should strongly get convinced that simple life is the secret. If we cannot have that material attachment of all material comfort that I want is there, then only I can practice bhakti. Usually, this is what our tendency is because we got used to it. But actually, here Prisumara is saying it's bondage. We should, we should. um In other words, the offering of benedictions in the form of material profit. This is what sometimes we may pray to the Lord in the back of our mind. Lord, please give me all profits. Please make me all comfort. Please make me that all my material problems are solved. Then I can mm, peacefully practice bhakti. No, material gains or material assets that Lord may give still might cause us bondage. The statement of the Vedas which offer elevation to the heavenly planets in exchange for great sacrifice are simply bewildering. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita 2:42, the Lord says, Yam imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashita. The less intelligent class of men, attracted by the flowery language of Vedas, engage in fruitful activities to become materially benefited. Thus, they continue life after life in different bodies to search very, very hard. So, my Lord, due to your illusory energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefit from you, but as a father, not waiting for son's demand, does anything for the benefit of the son. Please, secret, please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. This is the crux of this whole chapter, I would say, is a lesson that we should understand. We don't know what is really good for us. Do we know? No. We may think, no, it is the welfare of my family, it is the welfare of my children, it is the welfare of my dad. It is all, this is what we may offer our prayers to the Lord. We don't know what is the best thing we need because we are not perfect. With our imperfect senses, what can we see? What can we understand? With our imperfect senses, what can we even desire, which can be correct? We don't know. The best here, what Prithu Maharaj is saying is that, therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you, but rather, just like a father knows very well what the son needs, you know very well what I need, and you give me whatever you think best for me. So, this is very, very important. Mm. Therefore, the Father knows the necessities of the Son and supplies them, and the Supreme Lord knows the necessities of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Ishopanishad states that everything in this material world is complete, Purnamidam. The difficulty is that due to the forgetfulness, the living entity creates unnecessary demands and entangle themselves in the material activities. The result that there is no end of the material activities life after life. This is what happens. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that's why saying in simple language for us, in Shikshastakam, na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishpare bhavatat bhaktir ahayati svai. The conclusion is that the pure devotees should not aspire after any material benefit from devotional service, nor should be enamored by fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Uh, and then uh, after this, the Lord uh, continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king. My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose, as you yourself very intelligently expressed, can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. If we want to be successful, if we want to be free from the clutches of Maya, we should have such a strong desire and clarity what we should really ask. My dear king, O protector of the citizens, henceforth be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. So, the sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of spiritual master. Uh, Man mana bhava mad bhakta. Just think of me always and become my devotee. This is what Lord says. Uh, um, for one who executes the order of the Lord, there is only good fortune throughout the world. And uh, the Lord appreciated, uh, amply appreciated the meaningful praise of Maharaj Prithu. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, the Lord blessed him and decided to depart. Hmm. So, the purpose of Lord's taking birth is to establish devotional service, which is the perfect system of religion. And purpose of birth of a devotee is to broadcast the same system of religion. So here, because Prithu Maharaj is standing on the principles of bhakti of religion, that's why Lord sumptuously appreciated him. So, what is the purpose? The Lord, why Lord appears in this world? The purpose of Lord taking birth is to establish devotional service, which is the perfect system of religion. And what is the purpose of a devotee birth? Is to broadcast the same system of religion or the bhakti cult all over the world. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of power of Lord to spread the bhakti cult. Huh? Thus, when king refused to accept any material benediction, the Lord appreciated that refusal very much. Although significant word in this verse is Achyuta, which means infallible. Sorry, another significant word is Achyuta. Hmm? Although the Lord appears in this material world, he is never to be considered one of the conditioned souls who are all fallible. When Lord appears, he remains in his spiritual position, uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord expresses the quality of his appearance as Atma Maya, performed by internal potency. After that, the demigods left, hmm, um, and and um yeah, there is just some information about what kind of mm, thing to the worship the demigods, the sages, uh, uh, the inhabitants of Pitralok, the inhabitants of Gandharvalok, those of Siddhalok, Chanara, Parnagalok, Kinnaralok, Apsaralok, the earthly planets and planets of the birds. He also worshipped many other living entities who presented themselves in the sacrificial arena. With folded hands, he worshipped all these in the purport. This shows that this solar system is not everything. Yeah, in modern so-called scientific society, the idea is very prevalent that there is no life on other planets, but that only on this Earth do living entities with intelligence and scientific knowledge exist. But Vedic literature is saying that is foolish theory. Hmm? Here we see the followers of Vedic wisdom are fully aware of various planets inhabited by various living entities such as the demigods, the Tejas, Pitas, Gandharvas, Parnagas, Kinnaras, Chanaras, and Siddhas and Apsaras. The Vedas give information that in all planets, not only within this material sky, but also in the spiritual sky, there are varieties of living entities. Although all living entities are one of one spiritual nature, in quality the same as Supreme Lord, they have varieties of bodies due to embodiment of spirit soul by 8 material elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence, and false ego. But in spiritual world, very important. However, there is no such distinction between the body and the embodied. So the body one gets and the Atma, there is no difference. In the material world, the distinctive features are manifested in different types of body. We have full information of the Vedic literature that in each and every planet, both material and spiritual, there are living entities of varied intelligence. The Earth is one of the planets of the Loka. There are 6 planets above and 7 planets below. Therefore, the entire universe is called Chaturdasha, Chaturdasha Bhuvana. Yeah. Therefore, the entire universe is known as Chaturdasha Bhuvana, indicating its 14 different planetary systems. Beyond planetary systems in the material sky, there is another sky which is called Paravyoma. Paravyoma, which is spiritual sky. uh, and there are so many spiritual planets. The inhabitants of those spiritual planets engage in varieties of loving service unto the Lord, and which include different rasas, dasya ras, sakya ras, vatsalya ras, madhurya ras, and above all, parakriya ras. This planet is also, Goloka is also called Goloka Vrindavan. And although Lord Krishna lives there perpetually, he also expands himself in millions and trillions of forms. In one of such forms, he appears on this material planet in a particular place called Vrindavana Dham, where he displays his original pastimes of Goloka Vrindavan Dham in the spiritual sky in order to attract the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. I'll conclude with the last two verses. Uh, the infallible Lord, having captivated the mind of king and the priests who were present, returned to his abode in the spiritual sky. And then finally, King Prithu then offered his respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, uh, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. Although not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Prithu Maharaj. After offering obeisance to Lord, King returned to his home. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this recitation, Prabhuji. I think one thing that was nice was, how we react to, the same situation that needs to be directed by a spiritual master. I think I found that to be very interesting because, as you rightly said in Mahabharata, Krishna says, Arjuna, pick up your bow and fight. But here, the Lord was, I think Prithu Maharaj was advised by his guru Brahma, and then he followed his instruction. So, the importance of spiritual master, that was very nice. And also, Prithu Maharaj trying to compete with goddess Mahalakshmi, it was very, it shows the love he has for the Lord. So those are, I think, nice things, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else have questions? Divya Mataji, how did you find the session today?
For me, the takeaway was not to leave the association of devotees, no matter how much we get distracted by what we are doing in life currently while pursuing our goals and all other distractions. It's very convenient to get dissociated with the devotees, especially for like our generation, because it's a little not so convenient, because we have to be consistent and we have to regularly devote ourselves to the services that devotees have told us. So yeah, for me, I'm really happy that I got the lesson which I had to take from today.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. For
Hare
me,
Krishna.
the takeaway is that we should listen to the pure devotees instead of listening to the people who are Mayavadi, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so because when you are listening to pure devotees, you will start, understanding better, like start understanding the real thing when you are listening to them instead of listening to the outsiders, to the
Yeah.
outer world.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially people who are make what do you call devotion as their career. Yeah, there are some people. Mm, I am a Trivedi, I am Chaturvedi. So which means I know the Vedas, and when we understand what about the Vedanta understanding, just by like a parrot, if we know all the mantras, and yeah, it will not bring us unless we ourselves are understanding, appreciating devotion. I don't know, is it Gaur Gopal Prabhu Rupa or someone? I don't remember. It's not about who is how expertly, you know, the speaker is actually. It doesn't matter how expertly he is speaking, uh, how nicely he attracts people, public, but it is actually the power, yeah, his power through his realizations, through his uh, the grace that he is getting. That is what is actually touching the heart of the people who are listening. Yeah, and that is very important. Otherwise, it could be very shallow, just not so deep touching. And then, for a matter, for now we think, it's so nice. Yeah, so cool. Now I know something that I can put it on Facebook. I know something, then I can show it. I can create a quote and then put it on WhatsApp or Instagram or something. No, but actually, this makes us humble that, oh, I don't have this quality and I really have to make effort and work out. Yeah, thank you. Very nice point. Anyone else? Okay. If not, then